Hello, and welcome to another video here on the channel. If you're tuning in from YouTube, welcome. Today we are going to be playing Standard with this very cool blue-white auras list. It was pioneered by deck designer Jim Davis, and I taken it, tweaked it a little bit, devised sideboard plans, and I've played a bunch of leagues with the deck. I really love it, and it's really fun to play. The core of the deck, the idea of the deck is to play a bunch of cheap creatures like Adonto Vanguard, Sky Marcher Aspirant, Sacred Cat, Adorned Pouncer, that type of thing, and suit them up with auras like Cartouche of Solidarity, Curious Obsession, Cartouche of Knowledge, and then quickly kill your opponent. It's an aggro deck, yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit of deck tech here. One of the best cards in the deck is Adonto Vanguard. Being indestructible makes it immune to most removal in the format, like Fatal Push, Shock, and being able to Adonto Vanguard plus something like a Curious Obsession, that's just a very good combo because you basically draw an extra card every turn, unless they want to throw away their creatures. It's very hard to interact with. One of the other key cards is SRAM, Senior Edificer. Since you have 12 auras in the deck, you get to get a constant stream of cards going. SRAM can just start churning through your deck to find more auras. Adorned Pouncer is also quite good because if they kill it, it can come back. So it's not really as bad if they kill it when it has an aura on it. Like, it's not as classic 2-for-1. It's also insane with Curious Obsession. That's a combo that you can often go for and start drawing 2 extra cards a turn. One of the most critical 1-drops in the deck, Legion's Landing. The original list I found had 3 in it, but after several leagues I bumped it up to the full 4 because I think that this is one of your best cards against like a late game deck, and this card can actually just win you the late game on its own because you'll just start like getting so many 1/1 tokens that you'll eventually just swarm past them. Especially with the help of some of the cards in your some of your lands, which I will go over in a moment. Sky Marcher Aspirant, also another great card. Late in the game, it'll gain flying, or even relatively early. This deck has a lot of cards that put 2 permanents on the battlefield for 1, so you can get to it pretty easily. Cartouche of Solidarity, for example, puts 2, and so does Legion's Landing. Sky Marcher Aspirant having flying is pretty good, especially with cards like Curious Obsession. Sacred Cat is the last creature in the deck. 2 copies. It's just a nice little cheap creature, can gain some life against aggro, and it will be able to come back if they kill it, so it's not really great for them to kill all the time. To go through the auras, Cartouche of Knowledge, great in mid-range matchups, a bit slow in aggro matchups sometimes, but it's excellent in the mid-range matchups because they just being able to fly over random creatures is pretty good, especially when you put Curious Obsession on stuff. Curious Obsession, one of the best cards in the deck. Turn 1 creature, turn 2 Curious Obsession just makes a must-answer threat, and it's just really good. Cartouche of Solidarity, another way to make your creature get through in combat. It's really good with the Adonto Vanguard, because when you give it first strike, you don't have to pay 4 life as much. I think most of these cards are pretty core. The last Legion's Landing versus another Sacred Cat is probably a little bit flexible, but these are the flex spots. And in this spot, I have 3 Baffling End, just for some early removal. Against other aggro decks, you're a bit slower if you're on the draw. So against like mono red, you want to be able to kill some of their creatures. Exiling is pretty relevant. And then the final slot, Dive Down. Dive Down is a card that has really impressed me. I started off with the standard card in this slot, which is the white instant that gives the creature indestructible and then you scry. But the creatures that you're really afraid of, the cards that kill your creatures, are exile effects. So Sheltering Light, I think it's called. I'll pull it up here. Sheltering Light. This is the card that I'm talking about. In a recent article, Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa wrote, he said that he would run this card if he ran the deck, but I think if he actually played the deck, he'd see that Dive Down's a bit better. It is a bit annoying on the mana sometimes when you want to play a Dive Down and a Curious Obsession in one turn, but the Dive Down protects against Hostage Taker and Vraska's Contempt, and those are 2 very dangerous spells for you. Yeah, I know. Not me, that's what I was just saying. The Dive Down protects against Hostage Taker and Vraska's Contempt, and those are 2 of the most dangerous cards for the deck, because if you suit up your Adonto Vanguard, it's safe from everything, and then they Hostage Taker it and you lose. Now to the land base, just some pretty standard. Glacial Fortress is a pretty good land. Comes in untapped most of the time. Irrigated Farmland to be able to cycle late in the game, though sometimes you do play it before your like 5th land, but so that you can flashback Adorned Pouncers. And then Chafet Dunes, only 2 copies. I almost ran 3, but having the extra planes in the deck helps with Glacial Fortress being on all the time. And Chafet Dunes is just a really good way to win a late game, especially in combination with a flipped Legion's Landing. Okay, so that's the deck. Now to the sideboard. Two Squire's Devotion. It's just a really game-winning combo with Adonto Vanguard against aggro a lot of the time. The fourth Baffling End, pretty good against Glint Sleeve Siphoner decks. Two Slash of Talons, also for like mono red. It's only good in certain aggro matchups. You don't want it in like every matchup where it kills something. You want to be pretty specific when you bring it in. Two Authority of the Consoles, also for aggro decks. Fragmentize for Marduk Vehicles. The fourth Dive Down, if you think you're playing against a Hostage Taker or Vraska's Contempt deck. It's just a bit better than a counterspell. And then the sideboard counterspell package of 1 Spell Pierce and 4 Negates. I used to run a 3-2 split of Negate and Spell Pierce, but I always figured I pretty much always wanted Negate. In control matchups, you want to be able to counter their Fumigates later into the game. And sometimes the games do go later because you have like a Flip Legion's Landing. It's surprising how good the deck does in the late game, considering that it's all 1 and 2 drops in the main deck. But yeah, that's the deck, and let's join the league. I actually won a trophy with this league, or with this deck. So, yeah, that's where that trophy came from. The deck's fairly intuitive to sideboard with as well. Usually you're trimming on cards that are obviously bad. Sometimes you'll trim a Cartouche of Knowledge if it's a very fast matchup. Dive Downs get trimmed sometimes if it's like a aggro matchup. But yeah, we're on the draw, which isn't amazing, but it'll be fine. And pretty excellent hand here. It doesn't have a 1-drop, which is a pretty big flaw, but we have Adorned Pouncer plus Curious Obsession, which is a nice combo. We have Baffling Ends for if we're against creature matchups. SRAM to maybe bait out removal. So looks like we might be playing as mono red, and that's where Baffling End really shines. So happy to have it here. And I think we are going to just Baffling End his 2-drop next turn. If we draw another land, we can go SRAM plus Cartouche. That's one of the play patterns of the deck. You usually want to play SRAM when you can play another card with it immediately to get immediate value. No 2-drop haste creature is very good for us. If he plays like a Kari Zev, we can just kill it, which is excellent. Alternatively, depending on what he plays, we could just play an Adorned Pouncer. But I think Kari Zev is... Oh, Soulscar Mage. Likely holding up Shock. Oh, 2 Soulscar Mages. Okay. Okay, so now... I think we're just going to go... It's close, because we could go... we're definitely playing Glacial Fortress. We could go Glacial Fortress Baffling End, or Glacial Fortress Adorned Pouncer. I think he probably has like a Shock or something, so I'd rather just get the Bomat Courier off the board before he can draw 3 cards with it. I know my Adorned Pouncer can block Bomat, but he'll just sack it to draw 3, essentially. And this way I can maybe play SRAM plus Cartouche next turn if he taps out. Or I can Baffling End a 3-drop if I want to. That card is a little problematic, but not really. Not insanely problematic. I think he might be stuck on 2 lands, which is just great for me. Excellent. I think I'm going to play SRAM plus Cartouche. That way I'll have a 1/1 to block his Earthshaker, and I'll be drawing through my deck. And then the turn after that I can go Adorned Pouncer plus Baffling End. Also important to remember the clause where if you did an attack with a creature, you have to sacrifice that. You don't want to have to sacrifice your own Curious Obsession due to a lack of reading ability. Yeah, this is just really working out well for me. I'll probably block if he attacks with everything. I'll just block his... I don't really want to block these, but I probably will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. He might 2-for-1 himself. A braid, yep. He almost definitely has a Hazard in his hand, I'd say. We can kill this at least, which is nice. Interesting. No block. This is going to open us up for a pretty nice turn here. We're going to be able to Curious Obsession our guy. Ooh, that was another good draw. Okay. Play our land. So I think we're going to go Curious Obsession our guy. Play an Adorned Pouncer. No. We could Baffling End this. I think we're going to go Adorned Pouncer, Sky March Aspirant, hold up, dive down. So first we're going to attack. Because dive down could be pretty decent here. If he goes for like an Abrade or something. Adorned Pouncer. Sky Marcher Aspirant. Prowess is a bit annoying to play around here, because I don't know if he has like a double shock or anything, because he's just been tapping out every turn because he's been getting land screwed. We will probably use our dive down this turn, I would have to guess. Okay. We're going to block there, and then double block one of these. This way, he has to use a removal spell, and if he does, he has to use it on one of these two guys. And if he does do that, then we can still kill it and probably save our guy. I don't know what he could have here. If he has double shock, we're in a bit of trouble. But if he doesn't have double shock, we're probably pretty safe. Or shock a Magma Spirit. Magma Spirit would be kind of annoying. Because dive down can't like protect against the second spell he tries to cast. Hopefully he just taps out for like a lightning strike here. But I like this block. I like double blocking the 1-2. Yeah. See, this is another case. Sheltering Light wouldn't protect against the counters because it would just die. Okay. So is he giving 2 creatures trample? No, he's just giving this one trample. 6/3. So this means I will be taking an extra 4, 6. I guess I'll just fire this off to gain some life. So this is just essentially me gaining 3 life. But I think that's the best dive down is going to be this game. Yeah. I just don't want to take... This is 2, so I'm already at 8. And then if I take another 4, I'm at 4. So then I'm just dead to a couple burn spells, which he probably has in his hand. And now I can really get going, because I'll just put my Curious Obsession on my Adorned Pouncer. I'll probably just Baffling End this guy. But I'll see what I draw from my Curious Obsession first. I'm going to Cartouche too, just to keep make the clock faster. Because it's an extra 2 damage every R I put on it. And he's also a couple turns away from Hazard, which is nice. The 1/1 chump blocker potentially is also good. Depending on what I draw from this, this could be very good for me. Hopefully I draw a lifelinker like a Sacred Cat. I'm hitting him for 6 here, drawing 2 more cards. Gonna have to remember that he's playing Invigorated Rampage. You do have to click yes because it is a May draw ability. Ooh, another Dorn Pouncer. Pretty sure Invigorated Rampage build of Mono Red is just the worst version. I don't know, maybe it is. I feel like he's stuck on land, so that just makes any version look bad. And I'm just going to kill this. And game 1 is not a particularly insane matchup. I mean, oh yeah, we win. There we go. Game 2 and 3 are much better. We get to bring in a lot of cards. So we're going to bring in Squire's Devotion, Baffling End, and our 2 Authorities, and our 2 Slashes of Talons. Because we saw that he had the Kenras and stuff. We don't really love Dive Down in this matchup. It's not great because it's a bit hard, especially on the draw, to hold up the extra mana. So we're going to bring in these 7 cards. We're going to take out our Dive Downs. For sure. It's usually not good to cut 1-drops in this deck. Usually I cut some combination. I'm going to cut 2 SRAMs and 2 Cartouche of Knowledge. They don't really block that well, and we do have 12 auras still in our deck, but SRAM is much better in like mid-rangey matchups or late-game matchups. He's much worse in these matchups. And Cartouche is also not insane against Mono Red because you'll usually know when you're stabilized. SRAM's just a bit squishy. He can't usually block very effectively, and Cartouche of Knowledge is just a bit better in slow matchups. So we're going to submit like this, and see how it works out. Having a SRAM survive is not usually a very likely scenario. And it's not like we have 0 in our deck. We still have 2. It's just if you draw multiple SRAMs, it's pretty much just a Grizzly Bears in this matchup. We did draw a card last time, but we don't really want to have to rely on having SRAM plus another aura. We just much rather have Slash of Talons and stuff. And also, Cartouche is just kind of bad in this matchup. Maybe I have considered in the past siding out all 4 Cartouche of Knowledge, but Cartouche of Knowledge is useful for getting past Hazarets and like. So if they're on blocking duty in the late game. This is a pretty excellent hand. We have the Sacred Cat. We have a Slash of Talons. We're going to be able to go 1-drop Sacred Cat into turn 2 Sky Marcher plus Slash, I think. Or we'll just go lead with Sky Marcher. Though usually, a lot of the time you want to lead with Cat, because then if it dies, you can bring it back easier. Looks like a classic Bomat Courier start here. Okay, I'll take the 1. No play, okay. And we ripped our Authority off the top, pretty great. Easily to always play Authority on turn 1. Just starts gaining you life, getting you value from them coming in tapped. And this game's looking very good. If he doesn't have a red source on turn 1, it's usually pretty good. We also have Baffling End. If he plays like a Kari Zev, that would maybe be problematic. And yeah, this card's much worse when it doesn't have haste and when it gains you a life. So yeah, Authority of Consuls. Pretty good card against Mono Red. Not GG necessarily, but pretty good. And this is why we don't have an insane number of these in our deck, because we don't want to be taking infinite damage. We're just going to play our Sacred Cat and our Sky Marcher. Sacred Cat blocks this really well. Though we would probably be willing to block with our Sky Marcher, potentially. Curious Obsession is the type of card where we just need to have 1 creature at, and then we're good. So as long as we draw blue mana in a reasonable time frame, we're going to be good. Yeah, opponent probably needed to decide into the big red deck version of the sideboard plan. This gains us 2 life, which is kind of neat. Kind of nice for us. This would be the perfect turn to draw a blue source. Not a blue source, but it's still good. We're going to put the cartouche on our cat, and then just start hitting him for 2 lifelink. We still have still have a bunch of blockers for this Kenra and stuff, and we have our Slash of Talons, and just gaining 2 life is pretty good. If he has a Hazoret, we don't actually have a way to go past that. Yeah, I will block like this. He probably is doing this because he has another PNLR. But we can Slash of Talons later. Perfect draw. I don't really want to go for it while he's tapped out. We'll just keep gaining 2. I mean, don't want... Yeah, see, because he just lightning strikes. Now we get to bring it back. Huh, okay. So now we could have put a Curious Obsession on it, but that means he might just kill it again, and we really want to get a hit in with the Curious Obsession. So he has 5 cards in hand. We'll just pass. Jeez. We'll keep passing. I don't think we want to go for it while he has Lightning Strike mana up, because this is our only creature. This is where Adonto Vanguard really shines as a card. Sometimes you need to be aggressive and be like, I'll just hope he doesn't have it. But in other situations, you can just be like conservative. And this is one of those spots because I feel like he has Hazoret, but he's not going to be able to activate it, and it's going to come in tapped. So he's going to tap out for Hazoret, and then I'm going to play Curious Obsession and Baffling End, one of his blockers. So this is where you just have to kind of know what mono red is trying to do at each point on the curve, and then you can beat him. Another Soul Scar comes in tapped. We're going to wait until we draw another creature to start going for Curious Obsessions, but once we draw another creature, probably just going to go for it. If we draw another creature this turn, we'll go for it. That's a creature. Yep. See, one of the other reasons I'm doing this is so he can't use that plus Soulscar Mages to do a bunch of damage to me. Yeah. So this has been a pretty weak draw from me because I haven't drawn the creatures that I need to go with my auras. That's why siding out SRAM is a bit of a risk, but it's something I like to do against mono red. Hmm. Okay, so we will probably oh right, he can't attack with that. Probably baffling end that just so he can't bring it back. He does already have one in his graveyard though, so maybe that's not something we were wanting to do. Hmm. So what are the odds? Because we could try to slash one of these, and then he would shock our token. Yeah, it just seems really bad. We have slash, we can kill that. Hey, he did have the shock. He's using shocks on his turn and just costing himself a little bit of damage in the attempt to get me. So maybe getting blown out by the Curious Obsession there was actually good for me, because now he's trying to get me actively. Okay, this is our chance. Hmm. This is a really odd game. I expect he'll just play Hazaret here. PNLR. He just keeps holding up these shocks. I just have to at some point just go for it, I think. We'll go for this. Um, hmm. Get rid of the token. Gain 3 life and draw 2 cards. I just didn't think he had a second shock. He would have killed it in response to the first one if he did. Nice. Let the games begin. Okay. He can even sacrifice the token with PNLR if he wants to stop me from gaining life. On Crop Crasher, yep. So yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's going to just sacrifice his Thopter to it. Stop me from gaining life. Oh, no, he didn't. That's interesting. I don't think he knew he could do that. Because this has an ability with... Oh, cheeky. The old Magma Spray it. That's a bit not great for me. So he drew the Magma Spray. That's almost guaranteed. So we're going to play a Dorned Pouncer and a Sky Marcher because it has 2 power to block either Pia or the On Crop Crasher. And then we'll hold the Odonto. He's not an amazing blocker, as you probably can tell. That can't block, okay. So I'm taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll block. I think this is a fine block. I'm not going to be able to deploy extra cards that well anyway. And I can bring back the guy as a 4/4 first striker, which is pretty good, especially when I put Cartouche of Knowledge on it. Glorybringer, yep. Much better when it comes in tapped, from my perspective, at least. Okay, so we're going to play Vanguard. This is annoying, but Sky Marcher, especially because it can get around the Vanguard because of these things. That's a nice draw. So now he has to choose which one he wants to kill. Yep, it dies. Never mind, he doesn't have to choose it all. He can have it all. If he exerts, of course. Opponent has played this game pretty well, I think. Yep. So I'm taking 8. I go to 11. Hazoret's not what I want to see here. Please no Hazoret. Yep, makes sense. I go up to 12. That's good. Now I can maybe just kill him. Bring back the Pouncer. He hits me for 3, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm an idiot. I put myself dead. Oh, man. Sorry, YouTube. I should have thought that through. I had to play SRAM plus exile that, because now I'm dead to Xaxes. 3, 4, 5, 10. Yeah. Yeah, that was really bad. So if I played SRAM and Baffling ended this, I don't think I was winning that game. I needed to be able to do more stuff. Okay, so on the play, I think I keep it the same. Cartouches aren't very useful, though. I think on the play, I'll take out the cartouches for more creatures that are proactive. That's because he has Thopter tokens to potentially block. That was just a really awkward draw, because I drew all my Curious Obsessions, but no creatures really to go with them. Pretty easy mulligan. Pretty easy mulligan again. And there's a keeper. We'll put that on the bottom. At this point, we kind of just want a Curious Obsession to get us back in. Curious Obsession with a Sacred Cat or Legion's Landing is pretty nice. We scried him to the bottom, I swear. LOL. We'll start with a Legion's Landing. This way, if he has Magma Spray, it's not as effective. And either way, since we're kind of constrained on white mana, it doesn't really matter how we sequence it. Okay, so he had Shock. So that means Sacred Cat would have been better to play. But if he has Magma Spray, we'd rather he uses that on our other guy. Kari Zev, very annoying. Pretty good against Slash of Talons. Okay, so we'll go SRAM and then Sacred Cat. I did say you want to get value out of SRAM if you can, but we are not going to be able to. We only have 8 auras that draw us a card, so we'd rather just get out a 2/2 guy and be able to do what we want next turn, depending on what we draw. Also, this way he won't use removal on our Sacred Cat, so we can maybe chip in for some damage. This is where Pia Nalar really makes herself look really great. If he plays it right now. He's a bit low on time considering he's mono red, but there were a lot of decisions last game. Yep, Pia Nalar. This is where if we draw an aura, our deck looks really great, and it just makes it for a mulligan. Unfortunately, it is not to be. Very unfortunate there. Yep. Sometimes that's how this deck goes, though. You only run 20 lands, so sometimes you just draw, none of them. Is it just me, or does that keep looking like the land that flips into Maze of Ith? Because I keep seeing that land for some reason. Okay. That's a good Slash of Talons target. This is what happens when you play a deck with a fail rate. It fails sometimes. Man, that last game I felt like was unlosable when we had the start, but now we're going to lose the match. Unfortunate. Okay. So we're taking 3, 4, 5, 6. We go to 9. Aura. I just hope he doesn't have a Hazoret. This attack might seem really bad, but we're pretty much just dead no matter what he plays. Glorybringer kills us. Hazoret kills us. That kills us. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go to 2 plus the pump. We go to 1. So basically dead, especially because he can stop us from blocking once with that. Yeah, that was just a poor draw from us a couple games in a row. It's okay. It happens. Pump. Yep. I believe we go to 1. Does he have the shock for the perfect play? No. Feels bad, man. Yep. Good games. Those were good. They were well played. On to game 2. I think we're going to play 3 matches for this video. That way you get a pretty good idea of what the deck looks like, what it plays like. But it's not excessively long. You also get some idea of how to sideboard. Would like to play first. This is not a keepable hand. Ooh, Angry Weapon has sent a message. Tilt. He didn't even say good luck. He just said GL. That does not merit a response. I guess we'll keep this. We'll put that on top. It's just pretty much free, because unless our opponent has Fatal Push on turn 1 or a Shock on turn 1, we just get an extra draw and our guy gets a little bit bigger. And he does have Fatal Push. Oh, it's Grasping Scoundrel. Oh, this is going to be good. Take to the skies. We could have played Cartouche and held up Dive Down. Now that I know I have another Dive Down, I'd rather have done that. But I kind of just like making him have something here before I know what I'm drawing off the Cartouche. But now I like just... I wish I'd played the Cartouche Solidarity. Because since this is my only threat, I'd rather keep it alive, if possible. Looks like he's mono black aggro, though. Cartouche is good for a variety of reasons. First of all, it gets a 1/1 to block this. Second of all, makes this into like a 4-turn clock, pretty much. Okay, thank goodness. Okay, so I didn't get punished for the tap out, and now I can just hold up Dive Down. Also, if he has like Unquenchable, whatever it's called, oh, this has Death Touch, but good thing we're giving it first strike. Yeah, we'll just do this, and then play our Ardonto Vanguard. Alternatively, we could just keep up Dive Down mana. Or we could have just not attacked, but I think attacking is good, and Vanguard's going to be good blocking his creatures, killing his stuff. I think he's also fairly likely to use Fatal Push. Oh. Bantu's Monument. Scary. Going deep on the aggro plan. The draining could be annoying. Our warrior token can't attack anyway, so I'm just going to do this. It's nice to trade off creatures. If I draw like Legions, whatever it's called, what's it called? Legion's Landing, I get punished, but Now I'll just keep attacking, keep up the pressure. Attack for 7. And I will pay 4 life. It's just a lot of damage on the board, and it's hard for my opponent to deal with. So, yeah, I'll keep it onto Vanguard around. Also, if I draw a land, I could potentially just crack Chef at Dunes for the win, because that's exactly lethal. Of course, if he has, like, literal nothing. But, like, if he tries to Vraska's Contempt me here... Oathsworn. That is a sweet combo with Bantu's Monument. Just get to bring it back for 1 mana every time you play a spell and gain back another life. Coming in tapped is a bit annoying for him, though. He forgot that it reduced the cost by 1. Bantu himself. My main man, Bantu. Interesting that it doesn't come in tapped. Oh, wait, never mind. I forgot. If I had a thing that made it come in tapped. What was I even saying there? Okay. Opponent has a very interesting deck. So I have 2 flyers. Wait, it doesn't have flying. This doesn't have flying from City's Blessing. I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 permanents. So I have like almost 6 damage. Kitesail Freebooter gets to see our dive downs. You're going to take one of them, obviously. We're not going to just fire one off because there's no reason to. He still might be unable to do anything about them. I'm not guaranteed to win this game. I'm still in dangerous spots. A dangerous spot. This is really sweet how he can sacrifice the Oathsworn, bring it back for 1 mana, drain me twice. Oh, he... Okay. I feel like he could have won that game. This is Menace. So he sacks Oathsworn for 2. Plays it, and I lose 1, so I go to 9. He plays it again. He goes up to 6, and I go down to 8. He attacks me for 4. I go to 4. Next turn, I untap, attack this guy, this guy, this guy, and he's at, because he'll have played this, he would be at 7, and this is 4, 7, so 9, so we could chump that. I feel like he could have just killed me, but I don't know. So, Baffling End seems good because it can take down Bantu and the Oathsworn Vampire. Fragmentize could be good, but I'm not sure. Dive Down seemed a bit weak. We didn't see any removal. The Fatal Push is a consideration. I think we'll bring in Fragmentizes for the Monument. Try it like that. Definitely a weird matchup. I think it's a spicy deck. Definitely a keeper. This is the downside of having more than just like 3 Legions landing, but it's so good when you flip it that I think it's worth it. And now we'll just curve out. You generally want to play your biggest damage dealers first over the life linkers, and also for the surprise factor of the Legion's landing. Because if you play 3 creatures out first, and then you play it, they might not have removal up or something. Non-creature, non-land, so he's going to take a Legion's landing. Now I look like a genius for having 2 of them. Skill. So skillful. Let's attack him. Sometimes I wouldn't attack because I have Legion's Landing I want to flip. But he probably doesn't want to give me it back. Also, I'm fine to trade and get it back. I'm going to run out SRAM because there's pretty high upside. Usually I'd play a Danto here, but since I drew the second SRAM, I want him to like kind of panic maybe and make an inefficient play on his turn. And this is pretty high upside too if I draw a Aura. That's nice. We're just going to kill it. I'm sure he'll have a crazy turn next turn if I don't kill it. I'm taking a lot of damage off of my own pain land here. That's why the Chef at Dunes is not free. I feel pretty good about killing the Bantu's Monument. I'm not going to lie. Forerunner. What's he getting? What pirates is he going to get? So he's mono black pirates with a lot of draining triggers. Pretty cool deck. Dead-Eyed Tracker. Interesting. I don't really want to get drained, so I'll just attack in. Actually, no, I'm not going to. This is the spot I was just talking about where you don't want to attack in because you have your Legion's Landing. And yeah, so now he has to have like Fatal Push or something, or I get to flip it pretty much. And having another white source would not be the worst for me. I am not going to lie. Man, Bantu's Monument. Man, killing that one would have stranded the other one. Feels bad. Let's go. That's right. Surprise! Legion's Landing! Go, go, go! I don't think we're going to even pay the life if we get the Danto Vanguard blocked. He'll probably go block, block. I guess maybe he wouldn't do that. Maybe we would pay the life and go to 10. He just takes it on the chin. I can respect that. Not going to play my other SRAM, of course. So this is the card he doesn't know I have. So every creature he plays drains me for 2. Oh. He keeps forgetting that his cards cost 1 less. Was that just me? Did anyone see that? It flickered. It showed the land. The Mazavith land. I'm not going crazy. I really hope I'm not going crazy. I saw it. I saw it. Yep. Monument makes your cards cost 1 less, friend. I don't know how I'm going to kill him. He's quite a high life total. He's assembled a pretty sizable force. I guess I'll just draw a couple auras and it'll be good enough. Oh, sound effect. And the exploring. Oh, Ruin Raider, you say? Neat. This card's actually kind of good against me. He leaves it on top. So, what do we want here? Okay, let's just attack with everything. I mean, not everything, but all of our 2-powered guys. Ah! I'm foolish. That was bad. I should have made a token first. I really wasn't thinking. I forgot I had a second one in play. Man. It only really matters if he blocks my SRAM. And I guess I have enough to... No, I don't have enough, because I don't have enough to replace SRAM. So I should... But I wasn't going to play SRAM pre-combat. So he's taking 5 here. I don't really want to go to 5. Especially because I know I'm taking 2 next turn. And I'll just start making first fort tokens. And then next turn I can sack Shafet Dunes to go all out with tokens. That's one of the better strategies of the deck. Especially because he's just... He knows I have SRAM. Buddy. My man. You know what I have. Hey, he remembered it cost less. Good for him. Oh man, Forerunner. This is actually kind of a neat deck. Like, he missed an Explore because he cast Duress when he knew it was in my hand. Everyone makes mistakes, though. So he would attack me down to 5. If I make a token, then I have 2, 4, 6, 10, 13 damage. He can block 4. That's pretty much all I need to block. Yeah, I'll take this hit. Because each of these tokens is going to attack for 2 life next turn. Oh, and he's attacking so he can draw a card. If I didn't have the Shafet Dunes, I would have blocked. I'm gaining 11 life, which is pretty nice against him. I mean, 6 life. I'm going up to 11 life. And he has to block at least the veteran, so I'm pretty safe. I mean, the Vanguard. So he'll take 6 this way. He'll go to 4. I think I want to keep this alive. I go to 1. I go back up to 7. Man, imagine if I'd been at like 4 life and I'd done that. I was so scared for a second. I want to do that because that's why I still have a lethal threat. Pretty much, these 3 are not lethal on their own. Okay, and that's the match. On to the final match of this recording. Let's go. We played some pretty interesting ones. That last one was really interesting. The first match, that first game and second game were really interesting. The third game, not so much because I mulled the 5, but pretty good matches so far. Really showing what the deck can do, I think. And it's just the power of flipping a Legion's Landing. Opponent found. Let's go. Final match of the night. EXO 2K11. And this looks like a great hand to me. We're going to keep it. We have 1 drop, 2 drop, 2 drop, which is pretty much where you want to be. We are on the draw again, which is a bit unfortunate, but our hand is pretty good. And blue decks are pretty good matchups usually, especially in game 1. And the Glacial Fortress is nice as well. Makes us able either to Eternalize that if we want to, or we can go a bit more all out. Oh, the mirror match. What an interesting way to close it out. I was about to think that there's going to be a control match, but this is going to be really interesting. I have quite a bit of experience with the deck, so I think I might be a bit favored, but you never know. Everyone's played their deck. He could have played this deck 100 times. Okay. Pretty easy block with my Vanguard here, though. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's game. That is just game. Wow. The nut draw. First of all, I'm taking 6. Second of all, I can't do anything. Jeez. Nice curve out, as they say. That's what this deck is capable of, though. Pretty great. I'm hitting him back for 5. 6 if I put the cartouche on. Thank you so much, Deceiving, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're just going to deploy as many threats as we can. I was about to say, like, oh, we can totally block it. But we can't. And we're probably dead. If not next turn, I mean, it would be very hard for him to kill us next turn. He'd have to have cartouche, 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 probably, and then he still wouldn't die. But the turn after that, we're probably dead. Or we're definitely dead in 2 turns, pretty much. Unless we draw a Baffling End in 2 draw steps, because we have to see the farmland. We can cycle if we need to. How much damage? We have 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Unreal. If we had been on the play, this game would have been a bit different, I think, because we would have been able to put him under pressure. But still, not much different. Any aura and we're dead. This play, let's get to the city's blessing so we can attack with those guys. Hold back 2 blockers for his 2 guys. That would make his guys lethal. Hope he has 6 lands in hand. Man, we still did a ton of damage to him, but it really didn't matter. And we'll scoop it up. Okay, so now on to sideboarding. Definitely bringing in our 4th Baffling End. And then I don't think it's between Squire's Devotion is interesting. I'm not sure if that's the card we want in the matchup. We could want Fragmentize. That also seems a bit weak because most of the enchantments have like on hit effects kind of. But he'll probably bring in Baffling Ends, so Fragmentize could be interesting. The cards we're taking out are definitely Dive Downs. They're just kind of weak in the matchup. And we're going to keep all of our other stuff. So I think we're going to bring in Fragmentizes. Because they can hit all his auras, but more importantly, they can hit Baffling Ends. We don't really want counter spells. We don't want dive downs. Slash is interesting. Maybe we just want slash. But most of a lot of his creatures are indestructible, or they can get bigger. Or Fragmentize seems odd. So Fragmentize would be for Baffling Ends. Slash of Talons would be for cats with stuff on them. I think we're going to be more proactive on the play, and then on the draw we might bring in Slash of Talons over the Fragmentizes. Also, the Squire's Devotions are interesting, but I think this is going to be... keeping. This is going to be a fast start from us now. Turn to Curious Obsession or Cartouche. Okay, we're going to put the Cartouche on. I guess not. We're just going to go and make him chump block if he wants to keep his guy. We are going a bit all in, which would get wrecked by Baffling End, but you only live once, as they say. I think it's correct to go for it. He can only have a maximum of 4 copies, and there's no guarantee he has it in his hand. And we still replace our card. Oh, yes. And next turn we can Cartouche. Oh my gosh. Not very interactive games, shall we say. This is turn 3. We're hitting him. Yeah, that's screenshot. That is going into the turn 3 compilation. I have a compilation of photos that I'm accumulating of what this deck can do turn 3. Turn 3, part 3. I'll show the other parts at the end of the video. But yeah, he's at 9 on turn 3. We have a 6/5 flyer. Baffling End or Bust. Oh, he had it. Feels bad, man. Man, rough. Oh, yeah. So we're going to play our Adonto Vanguard and cycle our land. Okie doke. We aren't going to just exile his Sky Marcher because he has Adonto Vanguards. We'd like to exile more. Okay, the cat. Another cat. Cat tribal. Okay, so we're going to exile the Adorned Pouncer because that's a real problem. Exiling it is quite relevant. We don't care as much about the Sacred Cat. Keep up the pressure. He'll probably block there, or he'll probably block our Vanguard, yeah, with the cat. Definitely paying 4 life. We're on the aggro here. We have him on the back foot, and we'll just play our Adorned Pouncer. Yeah, Slash of Talon is definitely coming in on the draw because if he has a turn 1 creature followed by a Curious Obsession, we can kill it and stay alive pretty much. It won't snowball like we snowballed. We snowballed so hard. We went for it all out. Might have even been a bit too aggro to put it all on the one guy instead of diversifying with some on the warrior. I could have put like the flying and another one on the warrior, and then we would have had 2 threats. But okay. We're going to cycle, actually, yeah. Cycle pre-combat. Even though if he kills this, we can't bring it back now. If we draw something like that, it's quite good for us. We're going to put it on the Adonto Vanguard. That way, it's just harder to kill. Ouch. That makes me look foolish. Ouch. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh man. That is called Max Punish. In the words of the English scholar. Jesus. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh man. I was like, we're going to cast this before combat. I mean, we're going to cycle this. And then we're going to cast our spell. Like a genius. Oh man. Oh man. So he brings in Spell Pierce. So he's going to attack me for 1 to stay alive. Maybe he has a Curious Obsession. Yeah, probably has a Curious Obsession. 1 with the wind. Okay. And Curious Obsession. Oh, and Cartouche. Yep. So 4-point life swing in the air. But we are about to bring back a 4/4 double strike, so 1 with the wind is definitely an interesting card to play in the deck. So we have a 4-turn clock. And this can't be countered. So he's going to go up to 8, but we have 8 power from just the Adorned Pouncer. So he needs another Baffling End, or he needs to be able to crack Shafat Dunes. Oh no. So he's going to go up to 9. Let's see what he draws. Oh no. He didn't have that last turn, and he didn't have anything relevant to play. So this is the draw. This is the draw. Ah. Cycle? Redraw? Is it Baffling End? Cycles again! Does he have land plus creature? Land! The game is ended! Oh, it's only game 2. Still. Excitement. That was a lot of redraws he had. I kind of want to take put Squire's Devotion in on the draw just so I can come back. And Slash of Talon seems pretty good. Slash of Talon's for sure. Definitely taking out the Fragmentizes. Okay, Slash of Talon is definitely coming in. Maybe I want a Spell Pierce against him. Probably not, though. Just because he's running it doesn't mean it's correct. Kind of want Squire's Devotion. What do I bring it in over, though? Maybe Cartouche of Knowledge. I don't have a ton of experience in the mirror. Interesting. I feel like his deck is better in the mirror. Like One with the Wind is much better in the mirror. Squire's version might just be too expensive. Dang. Is this keepable? I'm going to keep this hand. I have 3 1-drops. If I draw a second land, I have 3 2-drops. It's a very risky keep, but I have meaningful things to do. Yay, okay. There's land number 2. We're going to play the Aspirant, because this way if he goes Curious Obsession, we can trade still. We'll trade. We're trading 1-drops essentially, but we don't want him to be able to flip Legion's Landing. Yep. Let's go. 1v1 me, Vanguard. Vanguard on Vanguard action. Yeah, I doubt I will win this game. The indestructible mirror match begins. Okay. Comes in tapped, classic. We're going to play this and our Legion's Landing. Actually, we're just going to play both Sky Marchers. Pass the turn. Actually, we'll attack. Then we can flip our Legion's Landing. I think we're in bad shape. He doesn't have a 1-mana aura, I don't think. But we're definitely going to lose this game based on what's happening. Him playing that tapped is a sign that he probably has a Dorned Pouncer in hand. Which means my attacks are kind of bad here. I do have him on a 2-turn clock if he doesn't block, though. And I guess YouTube gets to see what this deck has in its gas tank, regardless, because pretty spicy opponent having the same deck. Yeah, I knew he had a Dorn Pouncer. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to play Cartouche. Wait, do we actually? Yeah, we do have enough. That's perfect. Okay, we're going to play Donto Vanguard. Then we're going to Legion's Landing. So now we have enough permanents to have Ascend. So our guys will have Flying, I think. It was just some quick mental math. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 exactly. Oh my gosh, that's so clutch. flip this, which lets us play our SRAM for painlessness. Or we can play another Vanguard. I guess we'll play another Vanguard. Or do we want SRAM? We'll play another Vanguard. Man, are we going to steal this win? Cartouche. Sure. On to the Vanguard. So I can't pay for my Vanguards. It doesn't really matter to me. Oh my goodness. He got there. Well played. He had both. He had 2 cartouches for the exact lethal. What a game. SRAM getting it done for my opponent there. Man. What a game. That was a very intense game. I think I'm supposed to attack with all my flyers there. But yeah, that was very close. He needed to have both cartouches to give both of them flying, because alone neither would have been enough. Man. What a match. What did anyone see that spire? That spire was there. I saw it. Man, what a match that was. I'm just seeing, would I have drawn the land to like be able to use my Shafet Dunes, I think. 1, 2, 3. So I wouldn't have drawn the land for my I needed more than 1 land for Shafet Dunes. Man, so next turn, if he doesn't do that, if he can't attack me, I think I win. What a match that was. Well, that's going to do it for this YouTube video. Thank you so much if you tuned in from YouTube. If you have any questions about the gameplay or about the deck build, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will do my best to answer you. If you enjoyed the video and would like to see more videos of this kind, be sure to let me know in the comments. Be sure to like the video. If you would like to get updates when I post new content, be sure to click the subscribe button. It's a great way to support the channel for free. If you want to catch me streaming live, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. There will be a link to it in the description down below. If I have a streaming schedule right now, and that will also be in the description below. That's gonna do it. Oh, also, if you want to connect with me on social media and get posts for when I post get updates when I post a new YouTube video, or when I'm about to go live, or when I have a 3-0 deck list, or just random miscellaneous Magic content, be sure to follow me on Twitter at NicolaiBolas if that is something you would like to receive. Thank you so much for watching YouTube, and I will catch you next time.